Section 10 of the Universal Religion, Bahaism, its rise and social import. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Nicholas James Bridgewater. The Universal Religion, Bahaism, its rise and social import, by Hippolyte DREYFUS-BARNEY. Section 10. Part 2. Social import of Bahaism. The true religion. To live the life is, to be no cause of grief to anyone, to love each other truly, to be kind to all people, and to love them with a pure spirit. Should opposition or injury happen to us, we must bear it and be as kind as we can be, and above all, we must love the people. Should the utmost calamity happen to us, we must rejoice, for these things are the gifts of God. To be silent concerning the faults of others, to pray for them and help them through kindness to correct their faults, to look always at goodness and not at evil. If a man has 10 good qualities and 1 bad one, we must look at the 10 and forget the 1. And if a man has 10 bad qualities and 1 good one, we must look at the 1 and forget the 10. To never allow ourselves to speak an unkind word about another, even though that other be our enemy. To rebuke those who speak to us of the faults of others. All our deeds must be done to promote the welfare and happiness of others. To be occupied in spreading the teachings, for only through obedience to this command will we receive the power and confirmation of the Spirit. To detach our hearts from ourselves and from the world. To be humble, to be the servants of each other, and to comprehend that we are less than our fellow creatures. To be as one soul in many bodies. For the more we love each other, the nearer we will be to God, and our love, our unity, our obedience must not be in word only, but in reality. To act with cautiousness and wisdom, to be truthful, to be hospitable, to respect the rights of others, to be a cause of healing for the sick, a comforter to the sorrowful, a heavenly table for the hungry, a guide to the erring, rain for cultivation, a star for every horizon, a light in darkness, a herald to all those waiting for the kingdom of God. These words, in their imposing simplicity, dispense with all commentary. Thus Abdu'l-Bahá expressed himself when wishing to make known to one of his disciples what constituted the true religion. It has been said that Bahaism is less a belief than a manner of life. It is unquestionably a religion in the most exact sense of the word. We should be even tempted to add that it is preeminently the religion, for it is the most wonderful means of international union known to us. Let no one think that it is only at Acre that these sentiments of real fraternity are manifested among the believers, and that, once away from the Master's influence, they return to their racial prejudices and hatreds. We have seen in the very heart of Burma, Bahai communities, composed of members of all sects and castes which abound in India, to whom were joined without mental reservation Europeans residing in the country, and there existed between these people the most sincere fraternity, who previously would not have sat down at the same table. Similarly, in Europe, in our large towns, where snobism and prejudice have raised up between the different classes barriers as impassable as those due to Indian customs, the Bahai communities endeavour to follow in all respects the exhortations of Abdu'l-Bahá. We must admit that there is there much more than the expression of vague sentimentality or of convent morality. In those lines are to be found the principles indispensable to the existence of societies, the recognition and putting into practice of that fellowship which unites us to our neighbour, and which should make us look upon him with the love we have for our brother. Is there any other remedy than this for the many evils from which we suffer? Socialist politicians, who commend the general strike as the only means of hastening the coming of the future city which they are dreaming of, do not they also presuppose this love which alone can obtain from the working classes that detachment and disinterestedness required by such a manifestation? Now, who does not see that if such a fellowship, such a love, existed on earth, none of the questions that socialism wishes to decide would arise? It is, then, this love that before all things should prevail between the different classes of one society, between the hostile races of one nation, between all people in the world, in order that the greater part of the evils afflicting humanity may disappear. This is the task Bahaism claims to fulfill. But in order to be able to judge its merits and its efficacy, at least with reference to our Western world, it is important to examine, by extracting from the writings of Baha'u'llah and of Abdu'l-Bahá the teachings they can give us, how religion acts on the life of a nation, and the influence it can have on man taken individually, on society, and on the state. With the progress of the centuries, religion has seen its domain restricted, and philosophy, as well as a crowd of sciences in the order of nature, history, law, sociology, policy, etc., which formerly were taught in the churches, have now taken a specific form, leaving to revelation the mere field, yet without limits, of the relations between God and man. In our time, a religious system should be considered, not only in its effects on the mystic soul of the believer, but even as every other social phenomena in its effects upon the general activity of a nation. Let us then see from these different points of view what Baha'u'llah teaches. End of section 10.